Today I'm answering a viewer's question where ultimately he's asking, why won't anyone hire me? Stay tuned. Hey guys, it's Brian back at you with another video where my goal is to mentor you to a rewarding career and to help you create a life you're proud of. If this is your first time here, know that I'm here to help mentor you guys to find a rewarding career, to help you with your social skills, your personal development skills. Maybe you want to switch your careers or change your career path. I'm here to help you along the way, and I do that by offering free mentoring advice through these YouTube videos. So if you have a question you want me to answer, go to my website, 101mentoring.com. I have a link in the description down below. You can submit your question to me that way and I'll answer it in a video just like this. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. Okay, so let's get to the question. So he says, hi Brian, I watched some of your helpful YouTube videos and I hope to have your suggestions regarding my situation. I got my Master of Chemistry in 2018 in the US. I'm doing another Master in Biomedical Engineering in Montreal and will graduate next April. I want to work in the pharmaceutical or food company. Awesome. I actually work in the food company or food industry, so I am very, very well versed in that. Pharmaceuticals, not so much, but foods I can definitely help you in on. However, I only have work experience as a research assistant in the university research lab and as an instructor for a lab class. Yeah, and I've come across a lot of people like this, especially when I was doing my undergrad. Now, I come across a lot of these guys in my undergrad. There's a lot of teachers' assistants. These are the guys that run tutorials, that help mark papers, that help teach students in addition to the professor, and they also work in a lab, so this is a good way for them to make extra income. And I was actually a teaching assistant at one point and helped run these lab tutorials as well, but this was a great way to supplement their income. So a lot of these students who are doing their master PhDs, they would earn an income doing that as well as pay tuition, but also earn additional income doing a TA role as well. I tried to find related companies info, also follow the job hunting websites such as Indeed and Glassdoor. I find that all companies need experienced people even for junior positions. I almost cannot find any entry-level positions online. I used to use or operate UV, HPLC several times. So HPLC, UV, these are all lab methods that you find in the laboratory if they're trying to do some sort of testing for products or finished products or pharmaceutical products. He's also done IR. That's great. Got some skill sets in the lab. He says that he's done it several times, but he's not an expert. I think this is a very unique skill that I have related to some job descriptions. Of course, if you got lab skills, if you've got experience working in the lab, it shouldn't be that difficult to find a lab related job in the industry, in particular biotech or pharmaceutical, or even in the foods arena. I tried, but it's hard to find internships in QA or QC or development positions. Most interns are for IT and sales. I applied to several with no feedback. I'm really curious that companies such as pharmaceuticals want new graduates or not, if they only want experienced people. I think he's trying to say, I'm really curious if whether or not these types of companies are really wanting to hire graduates, or are they at the end of the day just wanting experienced people? So how can I enter the industry? Actually, I don't want 2 master's degrees, but for personal reasons, I have them. I find that they are useless. Besides, my English is okay, but not as good as a native speaker. This is another weakness for my job hunting. Could you give me some suggestions? I know HRs care about work experience, but I don't have it. How can I start my career? And is a master's degree too high to find a job in the industry? Wow, you've got a lot of questions, and I love the detail of this question as well, so thank you very much. And there's a lot of information here, and there's a lot of things that we can do or explore, but I'm going to be operating off this specific email that you sent me. So ultimately, you're asking the question, why won't a company hire me? I get the frustration. You're telling me that, you're hearing all these companies wanting to hire fresh graduates. They want new blood. They want new perspectives and people with good skill sets out of college. Yet when you go online, you're seeing all these positions that want someone with experience. So what gives? What can you do? The answer to your question of why won't they hire you in this particular case, assuming your cover letter, assuming your resume, assuming your interview skills are up to par, and if they aren't, you may want to consider checking out my career prep course. I'll have a link up here as well as in the description down below. But at the end of the day, a company wants to hire you on 2 things. they evaluate you on two things, whether they hire you on experience or they hire you on potential. Those are the two key factors. Now, you tell me you have some experience, which you do. It sounds like you've worked in a lab. But if you're trying to find a position outside of that, well, at the end of the day, you don't have experience. As a result, you want to be hired for potential. You want to find a company, a hiring manager, or a position that gives you the flexibility, or that is so rare where they can't find the right person that they have to hire someone based on potential, learning potential. They can pick up a task or a job or a project really, really quickly without much training and just tackle it and do a phenomenal job. So now that we can admit to ourselves that experience isn't really our key strength, and as a result, we really want to focus on potential, then you really want to emphasize and tackle and really own the potential piece, that you have great potential. So you really want to sell yourself, communicate yourself, brand yourself throughout your cover letter, throughout your resume, throughout your interviews, that you are the key candidate from a potential perspective, so that when the hiring manager talks about you to their boss or to the HR person, try to sell you to them, they can talk about you from the point of view that this person has great potential in the company. So what does that mean for you? It means talking about yourself and positioning yourself from the point of view that you can learn things quickly, that you can take on tasks, difficult tasks, and that you've shown experience in the past of learning difficult tasks and doing that properly in a very short amount of time, that you're willing to put in the time, energy, and investment to learn things and then to actually apply them into your work world. And then it's really important for you to start thinking about all the examples in your current role, in your time at university, or maybe other job experiences outside of your major education, about how you did exactly all of that. How did you learn something really quickly? How did you show potential, and where the company was able to reap the benefits of your ability to perform? Now, the other point I want to caution you on is the risk of being overqualified. Now, if you're going to get another master's degree, you could potentially risk being seen as overqualified. You've got 2 master's degrees, you've got no experience, so it could actually work against you. Now, I'm not telling you to stop your master's degree. I mean, if you enjoy it and you think you're learning stuff and you feel that there could be a benefit for you, or maybe that's a different career sector that you can enter as a result, by all means continue. But one thing you want to figure out is, how do you position yourself? How do you tweak your resume so that you don't appear overqualified? It's really easy for someone who's very, very well educated to start spewing all the things that they've learned and all the certifications and all the education that they've had. But what that does is it really ultimately makes you look like you're completely overqualified for the role. The hiring manager is probably going to assume that you want to get paid a lot as a result. And unfortunately, you don't have the experience to command that type of value. And so they don't give you the chance. And you really want to shape and only divulge a certain amount of information so that people don't get that impression. All right, last piece of advice. If you are going to go on the education route still, I strongly recommend that you up your communication skills, increase your ability, skill set, and knowledge around English. I can tell based on how you structured your writing here, it's not great. I mean, it's okay, but probably not enough to where you want it to be. So I think if you are going to get a master's and invest in yourself that way, another good avenue to invest in yourself in is to really brush up on your English communication skills, and that means spoken as well as written. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to resume writing, cover letter writing, and as well as interview, it's about selling yourself. And in order to do that, you need to speak well. You need to be able to present yourself. You need to sell yourself, and to do it in a way that makes sense, in a way that is focused, and a way that the other person fully understands and receives your message. And if your English is broken, or if you have a hard time communicating yourself that way, it's going to be hard for them to really want to select you, or to even understand the potential that you can bring. So those are the high level advice that I have for you. Like I said, this assumes your cover letter, resume, and interview skills are fine-tuned, and I don't know if that is the case, especially if you're straight out of school and it looks like you have very little experience under your belt, which is why I do recommend that you do find some sort of coaching or mentoring with regards to that. Try to seek as much free resources as possible through the university, through your college. But if you want that extra level, then you can look at other career coaches, or you can look at myself and sign up for one of those career sessions that I do offer. Absolutely important that you have all those things done right if you want a company to treat you seriously. It would be such a shame that they just don't give you a chance because you've got spelling or grammatical errors in your resume. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And remember, the question that we're trying to ultimately answer is, why won't a company hire you? Well, realize that they hire you on two things, experience or potential. You have to figure out which bucket you fall into and then really emphasize it, own that bucket. And if you do that well, they will hire you, at least put you on the short list, and you've got their attention. And if you can't do that well, that's ultimately the reason why they aren't looking at you, why they aren't considering you, and ultimately why they aren't hiring you. So guys, if you have a question that you want me to answer in a future video just like this one, you've got career questions, personal development, maybe you want to up your skills, your communication skills, and you don't know how, or you have specific questions about it, let me know. Fire me the questions through my website, 101mentoring.com, or through the comment section down below. You can connect with me on LinkedIn as well, and I'll answer it in a future video just like this. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.